Household Products Company manufactures a product that goes through one processing department. Information related to activity in the department during June is given as follows. So compute the number of units completed and transferred out of June. So remember, we have what we have our raw materials balance. That goes into our work in process. And when it's done, it gets transferred to our finished goods. So it goes through that process. And these are all balances on our balance sheet. They're all current assets. So if we had, at the time, and again, like I just explained last, we have units going through here all the time at various stages. But we have to set a time and determine what is the value of our work in process at any given time. Now, raw materials is quite easy because we can just count it, and same as finished goods, we need to determine, well, if these are all 95% done, how much should we include in the finished goods? And that's what we're typically trying to do. But for the first scenario, well, how much are completed and transferred out? So these are not half done. These have how much have gone start to finish and how many are now sitting in finished goods. Well, we started with 20,000. That's what we started with. And we can add that to our, this is question 1. We can add our, so we're trying to determine our units completed and transferred out. And we started with our work in process June 1st, or our open, this is our opening balance. Because essentially, which was 20,000. Essentially, we assume that if this is what we started with, these all made their way out. Okay, that's what we assume. Now we also started, so this is what we put into production. We put from raw materials over. We started 190,000. Now some of those are at various stages. But a lot of them got through. We're going to add our started in production balance, which is 190,000. They're all at various, but we assume most of these got through. Well, the question is, well, then how do we know how much didn't go through? Well, that's just simply our ending balance. So at the end of this, there was about 30,000 units left, and everything else got its way through. So 190, 20 got through, 190 started, most got through, but we finished with 30. They didn't make their way out. So we have our WIP June 30th, and that's our closing balance. So how many were completed and transferred out? Units completed and transferred out. Well, 180,000. So when we're determining our equivalent units of production, we know that regardless of how much was left over in here, 180 made its way across. And that is complete. So now when we're trying to determine what is our equivalent units, and we will have equivalent units for both the, we'll have equivalent units here for both amounts of our material here. We've got our transferred out completed, and that will be 180,000. And we have our amount that was in process, so that's 60% complete. So we have our WIP end balance, which is going to be 30,000. It is at that time 60% complete, so we can add 18,000 here. So our equivalent units will be 198,000.